Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Come all of you, come all of us, and bless the one who blesses. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do,
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed, Le'olam Va'ed. Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la.
Hine ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. 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 How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is, to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim sheverachim gam yachad. Shalom Amelech, salam to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. 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 Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Kaddish, Kaddish, Yameinu kekedem. Hashivenu, Hashivenu, Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Venashuva, Kaddish, Kaddish, Yameinu Adonai Elecha, Venashuva, Yameinu Kaddish, Kaddish, Yameinu
We begin with those words of welcome. Return us, O God. Return us as in days of old. So many of us have returned to this place, our Jewish home, a place where, whether we've been here so many times or whether this is our first time, we want you to know that you've always belonged right here. And we gather on this evening as we Jews have done every seventh day since creation, to come together as a community, to celebrate, to ponder, to think, to pray, to connect. So welcome to Temple Israel, all those of you who are in our sanctuary, and we welcome those who join us via the live stream as well. I'm Rabbi Michael Friedman, very pleased to be joined by Rabbi Zach Pleasant, Cantor Julia Cadrain, Cantor Becky Mann, by Julian Chin, and by Chris and Sean and Stephanie and Lester and our whole team here at Temple Israel. We know there are many of you are sitting with family and friends who you know well, of course, but there are probably folks near you who you don't yet know. We want to enable everyone to extend a hand, introduce yourself, and wish someone near you Shabbat Shalom. We're so happy to have our first two B'nai Mitzvah of the fall tomorrow. So we welcome Max Landau and Spencer Kammeyer to the Bima to light our Shabbat candles, page 120. Our tradition tells us that there are angels among us. Sometimes the angels can be seen. They're the family who has gathered for a special occasion, or maybe just the spouse you've barely seen all week because of such busyness. They're the friends you've greeted when you came in, or maybe the friends that you will make during your time here. And so too, our tradition teaches that divine angels come and dwell with us just now, just as the sun, the light is departing from the skies, and we are lighting candles in our homes, divine angels come to dwell with us. And so we welcome them with Shalom Aleichem, page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Boachem L'Shalom, Boachem L'Shalom, Malachi Hashalom, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Elyon, Mimelech, Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Kadosh Baruch Hu. Shuvchem l'shalom, Shuvchem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei HaSharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Page 134. Yai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 lai. Zamru l'Adonai b'chinor, b'chinor v'kol zimra. B'chatzot v'kol shofar. Hariu lifnei HaMelech Adonai.
For 500 years, we Jews have welcomed Shabbat with the poem Lecha Dodi on pages 138 and 139. Wherever you might go in our world, and wherever you might find the Jewish people dwelling, you will find us singing this song.
Lecha Dodi, lekachkala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala. B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zamor v'dibur echad. Yishmiyaru ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת ולתחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי היא מקור הברכה. מראש מקדם נסוכה, סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה.
התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי. אורי אורי שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה.
לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה.
Rise and face the entrance of our sanctuary.
בואי ושלום עטרת בעלה, גם בשמחה וצהלה. תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, בואי חלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה ונשמה נקבלה.
We remain standing, page 146. Baruch Hu.
Ya la 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 la, 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 ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai המבורך. ברוך אדוני המבורך, לעולם ועד, לעולם ועד. יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה, יא לה 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 לה.
You may be seated. Wisdom and wonder, passion and instruction, story and symbol. All these things your Torah gives to us. And the more we devote ourselves to it, the more it grows and grows and gives. What could be a truer token of your abiding love than this holiest of your works,
and the living language that gives it form. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'miyodecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta b'ham b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shochvecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam lehot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha leman tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem, asher hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, lihot lachem le'Elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem.
On page 158, Mi Chamocha, in celebration of our redemption and in the hope for redemptions to come.
Mi Chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha nedar b'kodesh, Norah tehilot osef elah, Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed.
We turn to the words of Hashkivenu on page 160, asking for shelter, for protection, for help.
Sometimes I lay under the moon and I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason.
Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play one day, one day, one day. Oh, one day, one day, one day. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Lehamidenu Shamrei Eloheinu Leshalom Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Leshalom Lehamidenu Shamrei. One day,
rise in body or spirit as we turn to the words of our Amida on page 164. Adonai sefotai tiftachu fia ki tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Mekonei Hakol, Mezocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Bneihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atarav lehoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chaim mechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei cholim, Umatzir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar, Michamocha bal gevurot, Umido melech, Melech memit umechaye, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Ne'eman atah lehachayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
This week's Torah portion that Spencer will read, God tells us, choose life. And that's a pretty good Jewish value to live by. But sometimes it feels like sickness chooses us instead. And so in the face of difficulty, of challenge, of pain, of loneliness even, how much more important it is that we choose life. On this Shabbat, we offer words of healing and comfort and strength, a little prayer for those who are ill, injured, or in pain. On this Shabbat, we pray for the following members of our Temple Israel community: Adrian Beckman, John Burns, Al Delardi, Frida Easton, Steve Elliott, Jackie Fuchs, Roy Fuchs, Lanny Gans, Bob Gillespie, Jeff Helfand, Pearl Kane, Richard Lieberfarb, Francis Mand, Alan Noodleman, Robbie Regano, Lynn Brown Sossel, and Moshe Yaakov Ben Yocheved. So too, if you have any names to add to that list, we invite you to share names for a prayer for healing at this time. May God send them a swift healing of the body, the mind, and the spirit. We join together in these words of Misha Berach, page 371.
שפרח אבותינו מקור הברכה אמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. משפרח אמותינו מקור הברכה לאבותינו. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. You may be seated. We take a moment now for words of silent reflection. אחת שאלתי מעץ אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה בקש, אחת שאלתי מעץ אדוני, אחת שאלתי אותה בקש. שבתי שבתי בבית אדוני, שבתי שבתי כל ימי חיי לחזור בנועם אדוני ולבקר בהיכלו, לחזור בנועם אדוני. To gaze upon the beauty of Adonai.
One thing A psalm for Elul as we close out this month of Elul. Tonight, the final Shabbat of 5783. Last Sunday, on my last weekend, really before the high holiday season and intensity began, I found myself in New Jersey with my wife at MetLife Stadium Sunday night for Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band live. It was my third time seeing Bruce live, my wife's first time, but it was my first time seeing Bruce Springsteen as an ordained rabbi. And people will say, people have said, that attending a Springsteen concert is a spiritual experience. So I had seen Bruce when I was in college, and I had seen Bruce after college, but now this was my chance to see Bruce as an ordained rabbi at a synagogue and to discover for myself, how spiritual was this experience? Is the spirituality that I felt any different, having been ordained, working full-time as a rabbi? Here's what I found out. Yes. I was moved. I really was moved by not just what I felt as a fan of his music, but what I felt as a rabbi. And my wife, who was a cantor, said she felt the same thing just watching me watch Bruce. So I on the drive home, I said, there has to be a sermon in here. There's so much that Bruce does, and his band, not just Bruce, but Bruce and the whole E Street Band, which has continued to grow and grow and grow as he has been performing, that impacts the people who come to see him in a way that is truly, truly profound. And as I thought more and more about my experience at the show and how I was moved, and the ways in which I was moved in a spiritual way, I realized they're actually quite similar to the lessons that I gleaned from this week's Torah portion. So here are 3 lessons that I learned from Bruce Springsteen live on September 3rd at MetLife Stadium, and the echoes of those lessons that I see strewn throughout Parshat Nitzavim, this week's Torah portion. First is the idea of community. I was a part of a 50,000-person congregation that night, unlike anything I've ever been a part of. There's a song that Bruce writes where the lyric is, my machine, she's a dud, I'm stuck in the mud somewhere in the swamps of Jersey. This was a concert in New Jersey, his hometown, and at that precise moment before the word Jersey, Bruce raises his hand, the entire band cuts out, and 50,000 people scream on cue, Jersey. This was not a show where Bruce and his band were singing at you. This was an experience that every single one of us was a part of. Whether you had been to shows before and you knew those lyrics and you knew when to pump your fist at the chorus of certain songs versus other songs, you were a part of that community, a part of that congregation. We read the beginning of this week's Torah portion, Atem netzavim hayom kulchem, you stand this day, all of you, before God. And then we list the members of the community that are standing before God, beginning with your leaders and your elders and your chieftains, all the way down to the wood choppers and the water drawers, that every single member of a community is part of this covenant with God and should be equally valued and respected and considered a part of the same holy community. And that's what I felt like on Sunday night. It was my 3rd show. It was my wife's 1st show. The person in the row behind me, it was his 201st show. 201st show. But all 3 of us were together as one community, part of this same congregation. That we are all included, we are all valued, and that every single one of the 50,000 people in that stadium that night felt like they'd always belonged there. So too do I see the lesson in Parshat Nitzavim to remember what we say at the beginning of every single service, that each one of you have always, always belonged right here. The second lesson that I learned, or was reminded of, is that Bruce, every single show, reminds us that we have control, we have power in our own lives, and that we are capable of making change in our world. Small world, our immediate family, our immediate town, and the world at large. The Bruce lyric that got me thinking of this was, talk about a dream, but try to make it real. That's the power that we feel empowered by when we're in situations, when we hear people who empower us in that way, and that we have that power in our everyday lives. Bruce also talks about, when he was on Broadway, he would speak about Dr. King's verse about the moral arc of the universe is long, but it bends towards justice. And Bruce's take on that is, that's true, but sometimes progress is slow, and you can't actually see that bend or that progress, and it is our job to lean a little bit on that arc when we can, to push it a little bit, to make that bend a little bit more, to move that progress a little bit faster. We have that power. And my experience Sunday night made me feel like I was more empowered to act on that. This week's Torah portion has maybe my favorite lyric in all of Judaism, Lo v'shamayim hi. It is not in the heavens. It is in your hands, and it is in your mouths. We're reminded this week that we have agency, we have power to make change, to make positive change in ourselves, in our communities, in our lives, and in our world at large. Lo v'shamayim hi. It is not somewhere in the heavens that is unattainable, that we can't see or feel or touch, but rather we have control, we have power. It is in our mouths and our hands to act for goodness in the world. And the third thing that I learned really was an honor for me to experience, was that I don't think there is another human being on this earth who loves what they do more than Bruce Springsteen loves performing live. It blew me away. At 73, Bruce turned 74 in 2 weeks. 3+ hours on stage, night after night, with a smile on his face, laughing and joking and interacting with his best friends in the band, who have been his best friends for 40+ years. There is so much joy in what he does that it is infectious. The entire community, the entire congregation, the entire audience feels that, and it fills them. There is no one I've seen who loves what he does more than Bruce Springsteen on a stage. He, during one of his speeches or talks in between shows, he talked about a friend of his who had recently passed away, and how his takeaway from being with his friend in the hospital was simply to seize life, to seize each day and each moment and live it as fully as you possibly could. There is nobody I know who tries to do that more than Bruce on stage. And I didn't need the reminder that he gave us verbally, but he did, that we should strive to seize each day and each moment and live life to the fullest extent that we can. And so we come back to this week's Torah portion in another verse that, to me, is one of the most important verses in Judaism. We read, Uvacharta b'chayim, choose life. I have set before you life and death, blessing and curse. Choose life. Seize this day, lean into each moment with joy and optimism and pride, and seize each moment that we have. Choose life. And so, on this very last Shabbat of the year, as we enter a new year, a new month, a new phase, may each one of us be inspired and may each one of us choose the very best of this life. Shabbat Shalom.
The journey begins with an open road. What lies up ahead, we never quite know. We stand at the edge of all of our dreams. With every step forward, we set our hearts free. And every day you give us life and a choice that we must face. We can stay in the darkness or open the door and bring life into this place. Uvacharta b'chaim, I will choose this life. Oh, in the places I wander, each making me stronger, knowing there's hope through the night. Ubacharta b'chaim, may you choose this life. Oh, let love always guide you. I'll be there beside you as we go on our way. Lo v'shamayim hi. Oh, we can become all we know we're meant to be. Uvacharta b'chaim, I will choose this life. In the places I wander, each making me stronger, knowing there's hope through the night. Uvacharta b'chaim, may you choose this life. Oh, let love always guide you. I'll be there beside you as we go on our way. As we go on our way. It's God's all. It's God's all. Shemei Rabbah.
As we've wandered the path of each of our lives, we've been made stronger by the presence of those we have loved. But then, as we've lost them, we strive to keep their memories right here beside us as we continue to choose life. On this Shabbat, some of us may be observing Shiva or Shloshim, the first 7 or 30 days following the death of a loved one. So if you are observing Shiva or Shloshim tonight, we invite you to rise and share the name of your loved one aloud, if you choose. Tonight, we are indeed observing the Shiva of Elliot Landon, husband of Joyce, father of Judd and Stephanie, and Gillian and Matthew, grandfather of Jake, Emma, Avery, Meg, Ben, and Griffin, and great-grandfather of River, and of Stanley Stern, husband of Ricky, father of David and Ann and Judy, grandfather of Annika and Nicholas, and brother of Eleanor. And we're also observing Shloshim for Betty Dorfman, wife of the late Arnold, and mother of Merle and Wendy. Now, if you're observing a yahrzeit this evening, the anniversary of a loss, we invite you to rise and share a name aloud if you choose. Here at Temple Israel, we're observing the yahrzeit of Jerome Bernstein, Alan Bernstein, Brooke Burrows, Morris Brownstein, George Feynman, Adele Fisher, Doris Fishman, Marcia Fishman-Weiss, Seymour Fogel, Brian Friedman, Ethel Gans, David Gritz, Eleanor Henkoff, Edward Israel, Philip Miller, Sarah Morris, Gerald Perlman, Harriet Raffel, Carolyn Rothenberg, Hildegard Schein, John Philip Schluckabeer, Annie Schwartz, Jack Donald Stiefelman, Ernest N. Strauss, and Pauline Walkoff. If you're joining us by the live stream and have a name to share, we invite you to say it aloud wherever you may be, or type the name into the comments. And we invite all of those who may not have said a name but wish to rise at this time in observance of a loss. You may rise now. And we all rise as one congregation, full of sympathy and friendship. We turn to page 598 for these hallowed words of Kaddish Yatom, mourners Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba, be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, Uvchaye dechol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevarach le'elam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata Damiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalom araba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Hosei shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the Holy One of blessing, who creates harmony in the heavens above, bring peace to us, to all Israel, and to all humanity. And we say together, Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru.
How wonderful it is to be together tonight here at Temple Israel or via our live stream. We want to invite Spencer and Max back to the bima so that you can help lead Kiddush and Motzi. Gentlemen, come forward, please. We welcome you up here. We want to invite everyone to join us on Sunday for our annual Shalom Fest, a great community-wide celebration across all ages. The weather's a little bit iffy, so most likely it'll be held indoors, but it still will be held, rain or shine. We invite all to come, and of course, we all look forward to seeing you next Friday night for Erev Rosh Hashanah and throughout the high holidays. If you haven't yet registered to attend our services, you can do all of that online or speak to any of us, and we'll let you know how you can do that. Okay, so, gentlemen, are we ready? Page 123 for Kaddish.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam ashrei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzav b'hanu, v'shabbat kodsho be'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu, zikaron lema'aseh v'reishit, ki hu yom techila lemikra'ei kodesh, zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim, ki banu v'acharta, v'otanu kiddashta, mikol ha'amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ahava uvratzon, hinchaltanu, baruch atah Adonai, mekadesh Shabbat L'chaim.
Good.
Gentlemen, you can take the challah that's right there. We invite everyone to join us immediately following the service for a little oneg, some sweetness to close out this final Shabbat of 5783.
May we continue to seize each moment, each day, and celebrate with ourselves, our families, and each other. Shabbat Shalom.